Hi everybody, welcome to The Hype. Today we're gonna diving into what it's really like to experience life in China. From people, from overseas visitors to somebody already relocate themselves and calling it home. We're gonna talk about their daily moments and their daily life, from navigating healthcare to immersive cultural exchange, and also just some daily topic in general. So today we welcome several guests here, and we're gonna talk about their life, talking about healthcare in China and their cultural exchange and differences, and how people connect with the culture here and staying with the people and how they start a new journey in China. So let's say welcome. And first, Alex, do you want to share your life here in China?
Hello, thanks, Ty. Yeah, surely. My name is Alex. I'm a content producer. I live in China for almost 12 years now. Right now, I'm based in Chengdu for last 8 years, I believe. Yeah, I used to live in Guangzhou before, then I moved here and yeah, happily settled down in this area. I enjoy the weather. I love to observe China and I try to make more content about showing it, especially being located in the west of China. It's not the coastal side that everybody knows. It's not Shanghai, it's not Beijing. It's a bit more different. And I think it's so unknown, so underrated right now. It's like a low-hanging fruit, actually, especially if I go out of Chengdu to the West Sichuan and other areas. It's very exciting. I can just travel within Sichuan. It's a like whole world here, and it's so cool to share it with others. Basically, that's what my life is about now.
Cool. Since you are a content creator, like content producer on multiple like social media platform, have you ever seen like spot a lot of like viral topic about China, like their digital nomads come to China relocating, and China's growing sense of community, and also people choose China as their destination for the medical tourism. And how do you interpret those kind of things? And can you tell me the most social trend that struck you in China?
Mm. That's a great question. That's a bunch of great questions, actually. Yeah. Starting from the first one, what I can think of, like the trends, I think it actually, like, it became very obvious that China is on headlines um, on social media when there was a problem with TikTok in America, and a lot of Americans uh, they just didn't follow the narrative, and they kind of showed a not very nice gesture to whatever was happening, and they all jumped on Xiaohongshu, which at that time didn't have English name even. It became Red Note at that moment, and it was shocking to me because for me it's still difficult to get used to this English name and all the translation features. It was in Chinese before, right? I was using it at that time already for a year, and suddenly it became Instagram.
Cool.
It was crazy, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was in. I actually enjoyed seeing people meeting China for the first time. It's like being a tour guide for people who have never been here. You see their eyes, you see their emotions. Like China has nothing to hide, in my opinion. There is a lot of amazing stuff. Cities are great, and safety and everything. It's all already spoken many times, but to see people experiencing that for the first time was very exciting. And I think since that moment, it started this trend of actually coming to China. A lot of people joined Red Note and then maybe they left because they're not in China, but many people stayed. I've met content creators who've never been to China, never used any social media here until that moment, and they stayed on Red Note, and now a year later they are in Shanghai
Yeah.
or they're in Guangzhou or Beijing, Xiamen,
Yeah.
because this curiosity grew, they started to dig, and it's like a rabbit hole. You start to learn about culture or language or food. There is so much to explore, and if somebody who knew nothing about China suddenly started this, yeah, it's pretty hard to quit, I think. And like, I think it's just the beginning, to be honest.
Yeah. Speaking of staying here for decades and touring all over the place, we need to talk to Simon to ask you to introduce yourself and your decades-long trip in China. and even life, I mean like long-term life already. Could you share some moments surrounded you first when you decide to seek healthcare in China, and also your families or grow up and spending life together in China, and how does it look like?
Thank you very much indeed for explaining to everybody about my years of wisdom of being in China. You articulated that very well, thank you. So yeah, I first came to China in 1998, very long time ago. And what I say to everybody is that in China, it's not, if you come here from 98 to now, it's not like coming to the same country. It's like visiting another planet. The transformation is absolutely incredible. And what I've witnessed firsthand is nothing short of phenomenal. And it's been an absolute privilege and an honor to witness that transformation over the years. And through my years of experience, I feel quite privileged and very fortunate that I can create content and I can explain to people about my life experiences, what I've gone through around the world traveling. I've been very fortunate enough to travel to more than 100 countries and lived in several countries, but consequently witnessing the transformation of something that is beyond magnificent, which is China. As far as the question in relation to my experiences as far as the medical profession in China is concerned, maybe I've not mentioned before, but around about 2012, I was in Guangzhou and I had a bit of an incident, and thankfully I had a very dear friend that helped me, and he got me into hospital in Guangzhou. I was able to get into, at the time I had no clue, no understanding, no comprehension as far as the medical situation or the professional hospitals or whatever else. I was just very fortunate to be placed into the hospital in Guangzhou, and I had a major issue and I was put into intensive care, and I was there for 8 days, and I was taken care of. I was really looked after so well. I spent 3 days in intensive care and then another 5 or 6 days on a ward. And at that time, I didn't have the insurance. I had to pay, and it was all fine. What I'm trying to say is the experience was nothing short of phenomenal from my own perspective. How I was treated. I was the only foreigner in the whole of the hospital, which had about 50,000 people in it. It was incredible, and the treatment I was offered at that point, the guys there saved my life. So I had an experience that I can remember and something that I can share with everybody out there. Then you fast forward a few years later, and here I am now living in Shanghai. My youngest son and my eldest son they come out to visit me, and we spend time here in Shanghai. And we've all three of us have gone to the hospital here, and the whole experience, the whole procedure, the whole process is nothing short of amazing in comparison to what it's like back in the West. As far as the process and the procedures, it is just incredible, because you can make a phone call or you can book online and you can be seen the next day. So you can arrange an appointment to go to the hospital. My youngest son, he had to go for his tooth about a year ago, and he was told back in the UK that he was okay to travel and move around. As soon as we went to see the hospitals here, they were like, no, he needs some operation done immediately. And so thankfully he was sorted out immediately. He was sorted out professionally, handled absolutely with precision. So that was my first experience with my youngest son. Then my eldest son, he came out about a few months later, and he had to go to the hospital. So we went back to the same hospital to see the doctors, and they looked after my eldest son perfectly well. And then I, in turn, it's almost like we're a case study of people that go into the hospitals the whole time. But anyway, the great thing is I'm in China, so I was also taken care of as well. So all three of us have had separate incidents in going to the hospital, taken care of with meticulous precision. The staff have been nothing but phenomenal and wonderful, so kind and caring. And so my experience, what I would share with everybody, is just so amazingly wonderful, because the comparison to what it's like back in the West, certainly where I come from in the UK, there's a little bit of a transformational difference between the two countries. I hope I answered the question for you there.
Yeah, it definitely answered all my questions, and I really enjoy listening to all the stories of your kids, which is really lovely. And so it must be really tough moment to see all the kids go through the hospital as long as at least they were being taken care of really well back to then. Okay, now let's welcome Nico, who is from Chile, and we have been talking through Chinese cuisine when we met at the National Games in Guangzhou, and he got a huge passion into Chinese food. I mean, if we have to mention something outside the hospital, I mean, cuisine, like Chinese cuisine is also one of the most popular thing, attracting more and more overseas visitors come to China. So yeah. Nico, could you share with us about your story and your impression, your insights about Chinese tourism?
Well, thanks for invitation. Here I have the bad lucky to have some healthy problems, and I have to go to hospital while I was traveling. So I was really impressed how the hospital treats me. Even I'm a foreign and I be traveling, I have the same treatment, and I can get access to my treatment. But it was just one day, and after that I also had impressed for the how China is improving the technology in medical. I think it's also kind of tourist because there is a lot of robot exhibition centers that tourists can go and see the robots, different kind of topics like coffee machines that make coffee with paintings, or also robots that dance. And they have a robo arm that is like a dentist, and he can treat your mouth like a better than a human, and that really impressed me a lot. And that's the future, but China still keeping the old traditional medicine, that is the Chinese medicine. And even if traditional for foreigners, is so interesting making videos about that and experience like a tourist. Sometimes I went a hospital in Chengzhou in Henan of traditional medicine, and they have the acupuncture, and also they have a treatment of fire, and they put how to say, fire in your face to do a treatment. And I want to record that treatment, and the doctor, we was visitors, so the doctor asked me, "You don't have any problem, why you want to put fire in your face?" And I say, "No, because it's a good experience and I want to share it."
Yeah.
Look, a little bit burned, but it's okay. And that's for me so medical treatment. um and if I invite someone to China, I gonna bring them to the old towns, old street with the food, the old towns that have a lot of street of food. But they also have a place that they cleaning your ears. I mean, I have big ears, so I need to cleaning very often. And they have the traditional earth side, but they have a new one that they put a camera inside your ear, and you can see how is inside, how dirty is your ear. So hopefully mine was so clean, so I just do the basic treatment. But what's incredible, how you can see the screen and see your body immediately. I think that is interesting experience in the medical. Um, and currently also we speak about food. There is a lot of food innovations. Like the other day I went to a ice cream shop that they do ice cream with the medicine tea, the medicine teas, different flavors. And I think that was also good experience.
Yeah.
So and the other thing that is so crazy is inside the hospital you have restaurants like KFC, like McDonald's, Lawson's that work 24/7. I think that's so incredible. All this can work, and yeah, that's my experience in the medical system in China.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. You have mentioned some cultural differences between treatment and outside the hospital, services surrounded the medical care. Now we're inviting another different narrative from a doctor who finally working Shenyang and become a really well-known cardiologist in the local community. Let's welcome Muisha. Could you introduce yourself to us?
Hello, everyone. Yes, nice to meet you guys. My name is Moisha. I am at the First Hospital of China Medical University here in Shenyang in the Department of Cardiology. I've also been in China for over a decade now, about 12 years, and it's been an absolutely great experience.
Cool. Since your journey starts with a Belt and Road scholar, how did studying in China shaped your not only your medical career but your overall impression and your overall view of life here?
Yes, always thankful for the Belt and Road Scholarship, actually. It has not only given me a chance to pursue advanced medical studies in this country in cardiology, but also it's been like a gateway opening a new of learning, of practicing, of seeing the world, of seeing China. And this has really shaped every layer of my medical career, every layer of my life in China in unspeakable, in profound ways. Studying at a top medical institution in China, like China Medical University, just exposes me to a sort of a unique blend of cutting edge cardiac technology, patient-centered, high efficiency care in cardiology, and this has totally redefined what cardiology looks like or looked like to me before coming to China, especially where I come from a country in the Congo. The practice is totally different, totally two different levels. I've been able to learn technical skills, procedures like TAVR, like PCIs. These are widely and easily accessible here in China compared to where I come from. And I'm very thankful and very privileged for this kind of training.
What's the one thing that about living and practicing and studying and interacting with people in the local community kind of make you feel rooted and finally made the decision, like push you, made the decision to live here and calling Shenyang, or let's say in China, a home?
Yes, indeed. Like Shenyang here has become my second home, no doubt about that. And practicing cardiology in this place in Shenyang just has reshaped my view, my approach to heart health and patient care in that the training involves pragmatic, holistic, community-focused kind of practice. So in Shenyang here, not only hospitals like mine, but even local health centers focus a lot on preventive heart health. That is a game changer in cardiac health. You know, pushing people to have blood pressure screenings constantly, having cholesterol testing, and giving heart health education. This has been a game changer that I have noticed, and it happens routinely here in Shenyang. Now, about really being blended and wanting to stay in this country, in this place, it all goes back to the radical, the unwavering kindness of the people that I've met here in this country, especially northeast of China. People here are very warm-hearted, very welcoming, very tolerant. They are very open to outsiders. They are always willing to help. It doesn't come as a huge one huge gesture, but it's in those little things that happen in everyday life. For example, a stranger meeting you stuck on the street and asking and offering to help. That old lady probably there are some patients that after they recovered, they've been discharged, they have gone home, we stay in touch. They make local delicacies and want to give you, to offer you, to thank you for your care. As a doctor, it's not necessary to do that. Like giving healthcare, providing healthcare, giving treatment is duty for us. But then these, especially the elderly patients, they are so nice. They want to cook for you. They want to invite you to their homes. They want you to come and dine with them. These things have really made me feel warm. And my doctoral research supervisor is amazing. Like every single Chinese New Year, I spend it with our family. So that kind of has rooted me here, feeling like I have a second home, I have a second family. I have actually a family here in Shenyang. I spend the whole Chinese New Year's holiday with them. We make dumplings, we eat and laugh, we dine, we party, we have a good time together. So that makes me feel at home. That makes me really, really feel at home.
Nice. This is very heartwarming though, like hearing a lot of people like showing their appreciate their kindness to their doctor. I think back to the like oppositely, like, I think it's also their kindness, like trying to show that they're grateful for being well cared and being well cured, like in this process, which is really nice. And Simon, you have mentioned that your kids having go through kind of similar like medical care. And I think in a different role that you want to share like your gratefulness to your kid's doctor, I think in the same angle. Does that really resonate to you?
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to the story from Dr. Moesha, and I think it's the epitome of what China is all about, really, And for many years, I have talked and explained and tried my best to change people's mindset as far as their viewpoint on China and the community spirit. Everything that Dr. Moesha was saying, I was listening to it with a big smile on my face because it certainly resonates with me perfectly. The community, the kindness, the warmth, the orientation of family, how important it is to pay back to the people that take care of you. I can remember when my dear father was ill back in the UK, and he had a triple heart bypass, and he had many things over the years, God bless him, and he did exactly the same, Dr. Moesha. So it was beautiful that my family, and possibly that's the reason why I can relate to it so much, that my father would find out what the doctor was his favourite drink, and he bought him wine every single year, just for something so what you class as ordinary, and what probably because you're a doctor, and what we think of as, oh, well, that's your job, but we don't because we're so grateful for it. So when my children, coming back to the question in relation to myself, and my children were taken care of, I was so grateful personally to the doctors, for the hospital. First of all, the way that my child was treated, my youngest son was treated, because my youngest son, if I can explain a little bit further, has type 1 diabetes. He was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 4 years of age, which was a huge shock to myself and my family. And consequently, over the years, that he needs a little bit more extra care and attention than perhaps a normal child. So back in the UK, unfortunately, the demise of the National Health Service, and it's harder and harder to achieve an appointment and get to see the doctors or the hospitals. So being in China and then going to the hospital, especially with Ethan, and for him to be seen so quickly, sorry, Ethan's the name of my youngest son, and for him to be seen so quickly and so professionally and handled with such care and attention within 24 hours, whereas back in the UK, we were waiting a couple, 3 weeks to be able to be seen, and then referral on to specialists, maybe several months. Mm-hmm. So all of this all links in nicely as far as the appreciation from my perspective as a father that my children, both of them, mainly my youngest son having type 1 diabetes, was taken care of immediately, and he came away with nothing but a smile on his face, because even though he's type 1 diabetic and he has to inject with insulin, he still doesn't like needles. And the way that the doctors handled him whilst he was in the hospital was amazing, because he came out with a big smile on his face and he had to have some needles. So it's, yes, I hope I've answered the question there, sorry.
Yeah, because like in China, some large hospital, as you said, they offer same-day appointment and very quick, very fast diagnosis and comprehensive service packages, which really surprised a lot of international patients. And also we heard like a lot of factors also affecting this medical tourism in general. For example, cost. So medical tourism has growing partly due to the cost, because like, you know, in some countries, cost might be, like medical costs might be really unpredictable and really stressful to general patients. So what's your understanding? What do you think like the factor really behind the medical tourism? What is this? Simon, could you summarize your feeling towards that? Because you have traveled a lot of places global wide, and you should have that convo to talk about that, to compare like China systematic and systematically, and also other places in the world.
No problem. I mean, so what we have, there's a few things to take into consideration here. And I think possibly because I'm only just the oldest in the room, but because I have wisdom on my shoulders and I can bring a wealth of experience of traveling around the world, what ultimately, and as we get older, we start to realize more and more and more, and perhaps the doctor can relate to what I'm saying, is that health is wealth, okay? Without our health, we are nothing in life. So what happens is you look at the situation in the West, and certainly I can only talk really, I mean, I can share my experiences of other countries around the world, but my main experience is the UK, because I'm English, the NHS and the demise. And the unfortunate aspect is that a lot of people would like to go to the doctor, sometimes only for peace of mind. And if you haven't got that luxury whereby you have to wait for 3 weeks, a lot can happen in 3 weeks. Yeah. So people then, what is it all about in life? When you start to break it down as far as money is concerned, because without your health, you can't make the money. So it's kind of like a little bit of a balancing situation that you have there. And I think the most important thing in life is if you can have that reassurance, and the luxury that you have in China is you have that luxury of reassurance in a very short period of time. You can go and make an appointment to go to see a doctor within 24 hours, and literally come out within 24 hours knowing, even if it's something only minor, but at least you can carry on with your life in an ordinary fashion, knowing that everything's okay. And if there is something wrong, then you're going to go on and you're going to be seen, because you're going to have that luxury by being in China. Flip that over to the UK with the NHS. You're going to wait several weeks to be seen by the doctor, potentially several months, because I can say from a personal experience with my eldest son, his girlfriend recently in December went to see the doctor. It took her about 3 weeks to gain the appointment. She's got a problem with her stomach. She's been referred to a specialist after the 3-week appointment, and the appointment that's scheduled is in for August of this year, which is absolutely disgusting, really, if you think about it. When you start to talk to people and you say, oh, you know, I'm really sorry for the situation. Oh, I only want to be seen. It's not about the money. However, the luxury that you have as far as China is concerned, I recently went for a health screening test, a 9-point health screening test. I was in and out and completed within 1 hour. The whole cost was less than 250 renminbi. So to quantify, that's around about 25 pounds, English pounds. And to have that luxury to know that I'm still relatively healthy and fit, and there's nothing wrong with me, is phenomenal, really. So for a small amount of money, to give that luxury of reassurance, of peace of mind, now that I know that at my age, at 56 years of age, I'm healthy, I'm fit, and I can carry on no problem. That really is not about the 25 or the 250 renminbi. It's about making me happy with my life to continue on.
Yeah. I think the same ideology also being highlighted in Alex's video, because I have watched Alex's video to show some like real stories like in the hospital, and also your personal experience. So based on your own experience in different places in China or also in your homeland country, what's the difference in hospital care or patient experience have you noticed in China compared to other places based on your personal experience?
Sorry, are you asking me or Alex? Sorry.
Alex.
Sorry.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry. I should clarify that.
Oh, yeah, I got it. All right. No problem. My last maybe 10 years, I mostly visit hospitals in China because that's where I lived most of the time. Fortunately, most of my travels went well when I was abroad. I've been to a hospital in Philippines once though, but yeah, mostly Chinese hospitals. But I've been into different ones as well. My experience was always great. Like what Simon brought up, I think it's crucial, the fact that we can just quickly know what's going on. It's you can't overrate this, the peace of mind that it brings. Like yeah, some people might overreact, especially with kids. Like for the parents, it's very normal, and the fact that we can just sort it out very quickly and very affordably is a blessing, I think. What was a unique thing for me to experience in China? It happened more than once. First time it happened just in the first year when I was in China in not very, I would say not very local hospital. It was like kind of international clinic, but a very big one called Clifford in Guangzhou. I went there because I wasn't very confident. I couldn't speak Chinese. I didn't know like how to communicate, and the system was still a bit alien to me. So I went there because it felt more familiar. They had translators, and I had a problem with my jaw that I couldn't fix already for a while. And I went to the Western wing, so I supposed to get like Western treatment with like antibiotics and things like that. But after seeing me, doctors say that actually I need to go to their TCM department. And yeah, I will not describe the problem, but it was like I couldn't totally open my jaw, and if I would try, then I wouldn't be able to comfortably close it. It was a very weird thing, and I tried to cure it with medicine already in another place. Then I went to this hospital, and they told me to go to TCM department. And in TCM department, they just gave me, it was like acupuncture, but it wasn't like this kind of acupuncture where you lay down and they put a lot of needles in your body. The doctor just took one needle and he like just punched this area multiple times. Then he put some kind of pad with some kind of medicine. He told me to come back the day after tomorrow. And right after leaving, I already felt better. And when I came back, he just did a few more moves, and I mean my problem was gone, even though I was suffering for more than a month before that. And I spent way more money on visiting, like there was a doctor who was like a foreign doctor in Guangzhou. A lot of people would visit him. It was like the first choice for me because I was not familiar with the system, but when I felt it was not working, the medicine he was prescribing would make me feel even more ill, so I went to a proper hospital, fortunately. And the experience was amazing. It was life-changing, honestly. Like just the fact that it's all blended. I'm from Ukraine. We don't practice, at least the way I remember, TCM is something like people don't know what it is. They think it's like philosophy or, talking about stars or drinking herbs in a way that like just, it's like your state of mind. It's not something that can treat you. But in China, it's a real thing and it really works. It's not just a metaphorical
Yeah.
substance.
Yeah, speaking of traditional Chinese medicine, there are a lot of viral trends surrounded by that. For example, like gua sha being like actually like popular in Western narrative. So have you ever heard about gua sha?
No, what is that?
No? It's like using a board and trying to touch. No, like Muisha, you should explain that.
Well,
okay. Yeah,
I think
You
you
are
should go ahead and
professional.
explain it because I'm learning actually. I was just listening to how you're going to explain it because I know acupuncture, I know moxibustion. I don't know if guasha and moxibustion are kind of similar, but
Yeah, that's similar to acupuncture, actually.
yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because I'm not a professional. So then I should ask your opinion.
Yeah, I practice Western medicine. I've only tried TCM also once in a while, moxibustion and acupuncture. Guasha, yes, use some piece of wood and then scrub your skin, probably the part of skin that is ailing, that is paining, and maybe pull out some heat and this kind of. It's so similar to moxibustion, but
Yeah.
it's just on the surface. They rub the skin, the surface of your skin where you're feeling the pain.
Yeah, it's very similar to the idea in the Western narrative, like called detoxing, something like that, right? Okay, cool. So also patients do have their own preference, like if they want to choose TCM or just like medicine in general, right? In the hospital, like to my understanding.
Well, through practice here, I have noticed that even before the patient makes the choice, we open the options to them. So you have both options. In fact, we have also a combination of the options. So we will tell you you can take this medication and couple it with this Chinese medicine. So there is a combination of Western and Chinese medicine together, and actually that works goes a long way. It's usually more efficient, but the patient may choose to only take the Western medicine or only the Chinese medicine. But we put all the options there. The patients can make the choice.
Cool. So Nico, comparably new here. Does that all those like ideas sounds really new to you? Or is there any like refreshing thing like in China that's first like surprising you and now turning normal? Nico.
Well, all the stories are like very, very like encourage me to like keep learning more about this country. I respect all of you, and for me, like the thing that most impressed me is like mm, how the people like start from the basis, like before, because this is like a philosophy of Chinese medicine. Is like before I have to go to the hospital, I have to be healthy by myself, uh, keep good habits, and all start like in home, in house, like try to eat healthy, do exercise every day. Even if it's like winter, you can still see people on the park. Also, this school, the university, all promote like healthy life. Um, and I think that's like really like impressed me how is the civilization here, and like every day I try to recording that on my videos to try to like show a little bit of that to my people, like my Chileans, and then like try to make them like know that it's kind possible that kind of lifestyle, and also like a lot of foreigners are start learning Chinese medicine in the overseas. Like there are a lot of institutes, they are more interesting because the Chinese people that live abroad, like of the institute, they are doing for like Chinese New Year, that is soon. We have a lot of like festivals and we invite people, and there is always like students that make like one free session of Chinese medicine to everyone, and that make them like learning the Chinese medicine, and that is like what more impressed me, and also like how fast is the hospitals here in China. Like in other countries, people doesn't have time for waiting for the turn. You know what I mean? They doesn't reach the turn, but here they can get the attention properly, like dignified. It's so dignity here.
Yeah, since you are an influencer focusing on tourism, what do you think like really surprising your audience in general? Because like when you showed your video about like touring all across the China, and what really stand out like when your audience see this, like saying, "Oh, Nico, you have been here, we're there, you have been tried that, we're this. I really want to try it too." Like what kind of thing like attract your audience most?
You mean in like medical or?
Oh no, in general,
Mm,
everything.
they very attract like with the, how to say, like the infrastructure of China. That's one topic, the infrastructure, and they also like when I speak in Chinese with some Chinese, they make them like very like interesting, like how the how they are with us, like so warmly, like every time they are welcome to foreigners. Um, it's crazy because all that I show like nature experience. Sometimes I receive message like, Nico, you made me buy a flight ticket to China. Other time I meet people in China, like in touristic place like Chongqing or Shanghai, and they say, "Oh, Nico, I come here for your videos, and now I meet you in China." I think there's a little of everything because like the thing that I show is so few people like show that. Just people that live here can show that, and that's make like everything interesting. Like go to buy the breakfast is like interesting. Go to the park is interesting. Everything is different here.
Yeah. So speaking of that, since Simon has been spent over 25 years in China, right? And how do you think, like when you see someone like Nico, like a new generation's influencer, come to China and talking about Chinese culture and kind of introduce Chinese culture to the global audience, what do you think? Like what the shift between people's perspective to China from 20 years ago to now?
What a wonderful question. So Nico is obviously a similar age to my youngest son, and so I love to listen to his attitude, his enthusiasm, his innocence as far as life is concerned, and all of this is positive, by the way, Nico. Don't take anything at all whatsoever. This is all about the love, my brother.
No, I appreciate it.
I love to hear it, and I'm so blessed to be here today to have a multitude. I think we are all blessed here today with the multitude of different viewpoints as far as this whole subject is concerned. And with Nico there, listening to what he has to say, I think it's a blessing for his people, the Chilean people, to hear a young man with passion, enthusiasm, sort of wanting to share his daily life and what he's doing. Obviously, he's enjoying his time. You're enjoying your time, Nico. But it's beautiful to hear what you're saying and how you articulate, because English is not your mother tongue. I get that. And how you articulate and how you explain, I've got a lot of respect for you in how you are explaining everything, Nico. So for me to listen to the younger generation, to talk about what they're going through at the moment, because the younger generation are going to explain to the people that have still got a somewhat of a different mindset as far as China is concerned. It's changing as every day, as every week, as every month, as every year goes by. But they can't listen to the old guys like me because, I'm talking from experience, but they don't want to hear it from me. They want to hear it from the young guys. I get all of that. My eldest son's a DJ. I can understand as far as the younger generation what you guys like to do and what they want to get up to and everything else. I've got my take and I can offer my wisdom and experience, but the younger generation, it's amazing. And if I can just wrap this up by saying that social media is such an important aspect now of life, and I believe China has been very, very smart about what it did in relation to offering so many people to come over here with the visa-free opportunities to come to witness China for the beauty, for the magnificence and the transformation that I've personally seen over the years. And then you get these young guys coming over here that are doing nothing but positivity. And because social media is kind of replacing TV, so many people are just gravitate now towards social media. And it is such a huge presence as far as daily life is concerned. So I would just like to finish up by saying, hats off, enough respect to my boy Nico for doing everything right, and just keep on doing what you're doing, Sunshine. I'm sure you're going to be blessed with an amazing future, Nico.
Thank you so much, Simon. I really appreciate your kind words.
That's so nice. That's really, really touching. Yeah, since there are a lot of things like in China right now, like attracting global audience, as what Simon have mentioned, that like the social media platform has shifting a lot, like evolved a lot, and everything is evolving, like including like people's lifestyle and how they use like high tech stuff. So Alex, I have watched your video like covering different lifestyle in China, because like the blend of ancient and modern lifestyle, it's also the part that's attracting no matter the digital trend and also like physical audience come to China. So what's your thought on that? Because like there are a lot of like trendy thing on TikTok and on multiple social media platform, like drinking hot waters and also drinking tea, like like Chinese tea, like those kind of things. What's your perspective on that? And what do you think those kind of like cultural, let's say Chinese lifestyle has told the global audience, was how they inspired the old global audiences?
That's a great question, Tai. Thank you. I can speak about, I will take it an example. You mentioned tea. I think it's a great one because, yeah, people drink tea in China. It's like a traditional drink, and there are a lot of traditions connected to that. There are all these rituals and the whole industry that supports all of this for probably hundreds of years. And relatively recently, Chinese people started to also drink coffee. But you can still meet older people who will say, "Oh, we drink tea, you guys drink coffee." But if it's someone below 30 years old, they will laugh because nowadays Chinese people also drink coffee. But because I have a lot of friends in this industry, I made a lot of content about coffee shops in Chengdu because I genuinely just enjoy the atmosphere that they create there, and I love the drink. And I can see that it's not. It kind of they learned this from, let's say, Europe. Yeah, they all make Italian coffee, and it's all based on traditions of European coffee making and the spaces as well. But they use differently. For example, here in Chengdu, tea culture is very strong. It's very strong, and the rush hour for a tea shop will be the afternoon because that's the best time to meet your friends or be with yourself and chill with your drink. Chengdu people are famous for having a chill, relaxed life, and their afternoons, especially if it's sunny, all the tea shops are filled with people. It's very dynamic, it's very cozy and warm. It's nice to see this, to be part of it. But it's interesting that coffee shops are also taking part in this ritual, even though coffee is traditionally a morning drink. In Chengdu, not so many coffee shops are opened before 11 a.m. Which I don't know. In Ukraine, you can find a coffee shop that closes afternoon, but in Chengdu, there are coffee shops that might open at 12 because the way people treat this drink is totally different. And another interesting thing about adapting the this habit kind of like later than others is that I think it was done by young people and they thought, okay, so what is good about coffee right now? They looked at trends that are emerging in Europe and in the States, and they just took them as the standard. And while, let's say in Ukraine, a lot of people are drinking coffee and considers themselves coffee drinkers and coffee connoisseurs, they might drink coffee that Chinese people are not get used to drinking because they might drink instant coffee, for example, which I know is present in China, but in coffee shops right now the standard is so high that I just came back from the States, and my biggest disappointment was that it was just hard to find a good cup of coffee, even in places that from my point of view, as someone who lives in China and got used to seeing coffee shops, they looked like they should have good coffee. They didn't, and it was way more expensive than anything that I would pay in China. Here is the standard is just so high. Like even the restaurant that is not specialized in coffee will have very good cup. It's amazing, and I really enjoy it as a coffee lover. And I think this is also helping because the standard is so high, then the better coffee shops are trying to overperform all those normal coffee shops. So they're actually moving the benchmark up. And there is like this whole community of coffee people, global community, I mean, not just Chinese one, and it affects it. It pushes the industry or the coffee industry forward. Right now, I think Asia in general, but China in particular, does it pretty well. This
Cool.
is very exciting, very unique, and I think not a lot of people might see this, but I see, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, this is definitely very interesting. So we have been covered a lot of moments and stories and funny trends around the Chinese like tourism and also the culture. So we hope those stories really resonate a lot of audiences in front of our screens, and also hope more and more people would be willing to explore the attractiveness and the charm of Chinese culture. And also, no matter the viral trends, no matter the medical tourism, which is really being increasing, really dragging a lot of people's attention. And despite of all those trendy things, we hope like Chinese culture could attract more and more people, and also more and more people will be inspired by the Chinese culture. Thank you so much for joining us, and we would be happy to meet you in the upcoming future. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. This is for today's Hype. Looking forward to see you guys again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Great pleasure.
Bye.